With this film having Alex Garland, one of the most inventive directors, and every guy in here that is like the internet's boyfriend of the month, you would expect this to be like one of the most entertaining, engaging movies, but I walked out of this depressed and needing some time to think. Hello to my Flickering Myth family and welcome to our channel. My name is EJ Marino and we are about to get into a brand new movie review. Yes, Alex Garland is back, but he is not alone in the director's chair. Yes, we are talking about the new war film, Warfare. This is one of those films that if you had like a heart race meter, it would be constantly going off because it is one of those movies that just has you gripped emotionally, physically. This is just such a heart pounding, such a badass, brutal film. Now, do I think Warfare is a perfect movie? There is some complaints I have with it that I'll get into like in a bit, but overall, I do think this movie is pretty strong. I think it is backed by some amazing craftsmanship, the camera work, the sound design, the set design. It just all feels so authentic, all real, but it also is there's a elevated quality, especially with that camera work that is truly, when Alex Garland is there, you're gonna expect some amazing craftsmanship. But hey, Mendoza, who was also a co-director on this film, really added that authenticity, that realness to it. And my goodness, on the other side, you have some of the best acting I have seen. There was this one moment throughout the film where there's somebody who is injured, and as another kind of squad comes in, they keep kicking the injured person, and just the guy's reaction of being like, yo, respect this man. It's just those like small little moments throughout this movie that are just so gripping that you're like, damn, these actors are good. Like, I knew Joseph Quinn was good, but watching him in the position he's in, he's great. Michael Gandolfini, I like you, but wow, after this, I love you. There's just so much talent on display here from behind and in front of the camera. Now, what are my issues with Warfare? I think this movie is a bit light on everything else. Story and narrative, which are two things I always go into a movie craving, like a good story, great characters. That's not really here. And that's not an insult to any of these people who are real life people. And I'm not trying to disrespect the situation, but in a movie, I am trying to be engaged and entertained, not entertained the way like I need like haha fun. I don't need like a Marvel movie. I was not expecting that, but I did find the movie a bit hard to kind of be invested in these men because there isn't a character development. We are thrust into a situation. We see the beginning of the situation, the middle of the situation, and the end of it. Yes, there is a story there of like we have to defend basically this base and get out of this alive. That is the bare bones plot, but it's exactly what I just said. It's bare bones. We don't really get to know these characters. I had a hard time remembering people's names because one, military, it's like last names, and it's just I was unable to fully just immerse myself in this because I do think the story is a bit weak, but I don't really have much insults because I'm so impressed with what they were able to pull off outside of the story department. We know Alex Garland for his amazing films like Ex Machina. I loved last year's Civil War. This is a filmmaker I often love. But hey, Mendoza, you're a worker in this industry. You have done a lot. You have been there, behind the scenes, working on stuff and really building war and action films from a distance. And now getting to sit into the director's chair, I don't know the equal parts of directing here. I don't know how much Alex Garland did. I don't know what Ray did. So there was a bit of like I wonder who I need to love in this movie. Like, who was the technical wizard here? Because I definitely think there is an amazing, just art to this movie. It looks and sounds amazing. I am not usually a war movie person. I find them to be honestly kind of depressing. Like, I'm Come and See is the war movie that I often use. I'm like, that's the one. Like, that is brutal, it's sad, it's hard-hitting, it doesn't try to glamorize, it doesn't try to make anything too, isn't it cool? Look how badass we are I don't want to see a Call of Duty trailer. I want to see something. So this movie, I definitely was appreciative that it isn't this glamorized movie. It is definitely very real and gritty. The injuries, the practicality, the living situations, none of it is fun. None of it is cool. You don't really want to do this unless you have to. That's what this movie did sell me. So I definitely appreciate that they were able to kind of build a war movie that does not feel like the other war movies, but lacking in that is, like 1917, Save It Private Ryan, Black Hawk Down. All of these movies have like a story, a beginning, middle, and end that our characters go through. We have ups and downs, arcs, we have, character progression, we have character development. None of that is here. And I know that's definitely going to be able to work for some people. If you like an action movie that's mindless, if you're definitely like a gamer who plays these war games, I can see you kind of being able to be immersed a bit more without needing that extra stuff. But as a movie critic, as a film fan, I definitely expected a bit more narrative-wise. But on the other end, there is things I appreciate. Now, there is one thing in this movie that I think they could have touched on to make it a bit better, but I don't know how to say it without saying it too much, so let's get into that hard subject right now. But there was stuff in this movie that I felt was missing, not just in the character development and the narrative sense, but there was a family that we see, a Iraqi family who is living in the house that these men kind of take over to build their base and do their job that they need to do and protect people and fight for the war. Cool, great. We see these people and we move into their house and they aren't humans. Like, they are just thrown to the side. And I know that's exactly what happens in this situation. You don't know these people's names, you don't spend time with them. But there was a moment at the end of the movie where things kind of settle down and the family is left in this house. And this house has gone through it. I mean, bombs out there, bullets over here. It has been insane. And there's just a moment of them going like, yo, what the hell? Like, it's just, I wanted to spend more time with those moments. I know that's not what this movie was trying to say. It's not trying to condemn actions brought on by these men. It's not trying to glamorize anything. But at the same time, I think there is a more important story to be told in war films. And I think this movie just, it touched on it for like 0.5 seconds. And I was like, there's your thesis statement. There is the conversation. There's the movie there. And it just kind of skirts out of it. And that's kind of one of my only complaints is like, this movie could have been a more complete tale. I know this is Ray Mendoza's like reenactment or memories of a situation that he went through. He dedicated this to a friend who he experienced a lot of this with. I understand that and I appreciate that. I'm so glad he was able to tell that story. But at the same time, there was other stories. There's other stories, specifically stories that you showcase in this movie that also deserved a spotlight. And maybe Ray has plans for that. Maybe this is a man who's just like, you know what? I live these moments. I understand the craziness that we caused people who are often innocent people. So there's just those moments that I'm like, God, this movie is good. This movie is good, but I think it could have been great. I think it could have transcended a level. I think there's some people who aren't comfortable with this movie, that if this had that slight different angle to the story and maybe fleshed out people, not just our soldiers, but the people who are living in this situation. Maybe they talk to them more. You know what I mean? There's just times that this movie could have been different and could have excelled to a different level. I will not complain. I think it's a solid, 3 out of 5 movie. It's good. It needs what it does. But I could have seen the masterpiece here. And I know it was so close to that. And I'm just upset that it just doesn't hit that next level. Warfare is not a movie for everyone. It is brutal. It is hard-hitting. It often depicts a subject that a lot of people aren't too comfortable with. I definitely see all of that. I did not mind the movie. It's not one of my favorites of the year, but I definitely appreciate and respect what they did. I think there could have been more involved, but it could have also been a lot worse. With the scant script, the very little story we have, it could have just been a bore, but there was still, again, so much great acting, so many tense moments, so many explosive, literally, action scenes that will kind of grip you in. Again, it's a movie that I have no problem with, but I definitely think there could have been a way to make this even better. But what do you all think of Warfare? Is this a movie that you think you're going to check out? Is this a movie you're interested in? Or do you have reservations like some people do? I want to know your feelings down in the comments below. I also want you guys to subscribe to Flickering Myth. We make videos like this so often, like almost every week. Come on, join us in. We got movie reviews, interviews. I talk to wrestlers. I talk to actors. I review movies just like this. So please join me if you guys subscribed. Turn on notifications if you're subscribed. Do all that stuff that you do on a YouTube video. It would be so awesome. But yeah, that is my review of Warfare. What did you guys think? Let's talk about it right down below.